My name is Professor Billy. I want to just go ahead and first welcome you guys. I appreciate you guys for taking a look at the video. If you are watching this video, you probably already signed up or you're interested in taking a jiu-jitsu class. I want to welcome you and just help you out, getting you up to speed with a few things, with some mat etiquette and some things to help you prepare for being better on your jiu-jitsu and your first actual outing whenever you try first class. You want to make sure you have a clean body. Make sure that you wash yourself, of course, before and after. That's to go ahead and make sure you don't get sick, you don't contract or get any kind of germs on you, and then you can make sure that you have a healthier experience whenever you get on the mat. Whenever you do happen to take a shower, you are going to do that at least 2 hours before class. Try not to take a shower right away. You don't want to wash off the good barrier of skin that's going to protect you from the outside germs. You don't want to wash off all the dead skin right away and then leave your body exposed to possibly getting any bacteria or anything on you or inside you because you washed off that layer of skin that's needed that actually protects you. So try to give it a little bit of time, take a shower, be prepared beforehand before you get on out. Same thing with your fingernails. Make sure you cut your fingernails and your toenails. Nobody wants to have a bunch of cuts, anybody bleeding by the time they get off the mat. So make sure you wash and clean yourself, cut your fingernails, and then everybody's going to have that much better of a time. You want to get a grip and you don't want to cut anybody while doing so. Whenever it comes to your gi and making sure that you do want to maintain it and make sure that it lasts for a long time, wash it on cold. Make sure that you wash your gi in cold water. You don't want it to shrink, and it definitely will in the warm water and if you put it in the dryer. Hang dry your gi. If you feel like you might have a long gi, then you can put it in the dryer for a short period of time. I would say maybe 10 minutes, check on it. As it shrinks, you want it to stop just at about your knuckle bone on your wrist, and that's going to be the optimal length whenever it comes to rules and however it should fit to avoid anybody getting excessive grips on you. Now, whenever it comes to mat etiquette and actually getting on the mat for the first time, you definitely want to make sure you take some things in perspective, making sure that you kind of blend in, right? So I want to walk onto the mat and make sure that I have my shoes. Of course, I want to have my shoes or my sandals on whenever I get to the gym. I don't want to be walking around barefoot. I always want to make sure that I never go into the restroom barefoot either. Some people might have that misconception because you're in a locker room and that you're changing, you can go ahead and take your shoes off, your sandals off, and then just walk around the bare floor. You don't want to do that. You don't want to run the risk of transferring bacteria and possibly getting that onto the mat. A lot of gyms, especially ours, do everything that we can to maintain the best hygiene to avoid any kind of infections or passing any kind of viruses. So your gym is probably cleaning the mat every day, if not every class. To get onto the mat, you go ahead and give it some respect with the bow, find your professor, and then go give them a handshake. A couple other things to keep in mind whenever you do get on the mat is how you start and how you're going to want to stop a match. You're always going to want to try to win, right? But sometimes we end up in those situations where we just can't. So whenever we start off a match, we always slap hands and bump fists. That's going to go ahead and indicate, especially at our gym, that we're about to start rolling. Whenever you roll, you're engaging in back and forth grappling. So you're going to want to try to submit the person and avoid being submitted, always jockeying for a better position. As you make that progress and get to a position where you might tap somebody, it's important for both parties to stay as active and pay as much attention as they can. You want to do the best things that you can to win in jiu-jitsu, but you never want to intentionally hurt your opponent. Much less once you even get your teammate to a position to make him tap. You never want to take it past a position where you might end up hurting them, even if they might not be aware of it. If you have to tap, it's as simple as just reaching over and then hitting on your opponent or your teammate. Just tapping them on their body, making sure that they know that you win. It's all right. I don't want to go anymore. Please go ahead and let go. Whenever it comes to rolling, sometimes you're going to be in the situation where your gym is absolutely packed. That's a great thing. Everybody loves a very big house full of everybody enjoying a good time of jiu-jitsu. One thing you got to do is be mindful for each other. Nobody wants to run into each other, risk bumping heads or throwing a body on top of somebody else. To avoid any kind of injuries, one good rule of thumb to avoid running into somebody is if you're rolling and you notice that somebody has a higher rank than you, then you and your partner are going to want to go ahead and move to another location. Try to make some space. Always avoid rolling into anybody else. Sometimes you might be the higher rank, of course, and if you do notice that, maybe some guys are really into a position that's intricate and they don't want to break it up or they're not even noticing you, it's understandable to move away. But for the general rule, you want to go ahead and be the guy that has a lower rank, getting out of the way of everybody else. Now that we covered most of the basic things whenever you get on the mat for the first time, one very important thing that I want to finish off with is making sure that you guys have the right mindset. Whenever you get onto the mat for the first time, You're inviting an amazing journey. You're starting off an adventure that's going to be lasting for a long time. It's a long time, so think of it more like a marathon and less like a sprint. You're going to get a little bit of information every day, and the people that you're around have probably been doing jiu-jitsu for some time. It's important to have that open mind. Have that white belt mentality even whenever you get all the way to the rank that you want. Hopefully everybody gets the black belt that they're looking for and further, but that doesn't change the mentality, the mindset. You have to be willing to take in all kinds of information all the time. Be willing to be critiqued. It's important. After all, it's going to be for your benefit. We want to see you grow. So whenever something needs to be changed, it's as simple as taking that information in because we want to see you succeed. So always keep that in mind. Always have that growing mindset and a white belt mentality. With these kinds of things, along with that information that we passed on a little bit earlier, guys, this is going to make sure that you enjoy your jiu-jitsu and have the most fun that you can have. If you implement all these things that we went over for this video, that's going to raise your chances of enjoying your time here on the mats and maybe even making a long-lasting teammate and friend. I hope that this was a big help for you guys, and if you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and share. If you guys are ever in San Antonio, please come out to one of our 4 Ohana locations. We'd be happy to have you. Again, my name's Professor Billy, and I hope I see you guys on the mat. Os!